So, hello, good morning. I'm Love Kumar, your host for today. And what could have been a better way to celebrate International Women's Day than to have two women leaders from BFSI industry to come and speak about their wisdom. We have today Miss Kamaini Nagar, and then we have another leader, Anita Sutrave.
A woman has to handle far many more responsibilities than probably
Yeah.
men. But I've been very fortunate. My husband is my biggest cheerleader. He would be the one to say, go and chase your dreams.
See, I don't believe it's gender specific. Sometimes work is a priority, sometimes family is a priority.
You don't have to be a superwoman. Seek help. That is really the true power.
Since 2019 onwards, the women investors have more than doubled. In SIPs, women investors have increased by 270%. A lot of it coming from B30 cities. There are some myths that women are conservative investors and all. Those stereotypes are being broken. Women are long-term investors.
You are going out earning money, putting bread on the table. Why not be actively involved into growing the finances? If you cannot take the baton in your hands and say that the financial wellness is something that I want to work towards, that empowerment is remaining a little incomplete. Don't take big leaps. At least begin somewhere. Stay consistent because that is the need of the hour.
Why we see more of Rohit Sharma than Mitali Raj. So, where do you see women in financial services in next 10 years? What 3 steps should actually a woman take when she starts in life? What message would you like to give to women on this International Women's Day? So it is said that for women to remain in marriage, happiness should be the key, not helplessness. And I'm not saying this. This was said by our previous Women's Day podcast guest. And I'm not against marriages. Marriage as an institution is extremely good and doing very well for Indian society. But what I am for is for women empowerment and awareness of financial products and services for women. So, hello, good morning. I'm Love Kumar, your host for today. And what could have been a better way to celebrate International Women's Day than to have two women leaders from BFSI industry to come and speak about their wisdom and the experience which bring to the table, which can be beneficial for one and all. So we have today Miss Kamaini Nagar. She has been in BFSI industry for almost 25 odd years.
Yep.
She has worked for 15 years with ICICI Bank, handling various positions and roles. She has also worked with Citibank and now she is heading retail sales for Aditya Birla Mutual Fund. And that's the common thread between her and me because 20 years back, I used to work with Aditya Birla Mutual Fund. And then we have another leader, Anita Sutrave. She has been part of corporate group called Outlook. She has almost 15 years of experience into corporate communication and marketing. She went ahead and co-founded Cafe Mutual. Now, Cafe Mutual has become a platform which actually devices communication between all stakeholders, whether it's investor, distributor, or AMC and fund managers. So, Kamani and Anita, welcome to the show.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, love. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
So, Kamani, before we actually jump on to the main theme, I just wanted to ask you, SEBI has come out with some recent changes in recategorizing a lot of solution-oriented fund, and they have come out with some other life cycle funds. So, your thoughts on that?
See, I think overall, if you see all the changes that the regulator has been making in the recent past, all of that is around customer or investor benefit. So, what it looks like as of now, while the jury is still out and we are still working on the circular, has just come a couple of days ago. I think the idea is that the investor should get a fair deal in terms of being able to actually invest in funds where there is not too much of an overlap. And also, I think the move is towards goal planning or life stage investing, and that is how the regulator appears to be signaling and wants us to head towards as manufacturers of these products. So I think it's a good move. We don't have a 401k like the US does, but the idea is to safeguard, ring fence retirement funds, and make sure that proper goal planning is happening and not selling funds only for the sake of it, but for overall for the long term life cycle and life stage investments of the customer.
Great. But abruptly closing retirement funds and children funds, how is that going to help?
I think it is more about consolidating rather than closing.
Okay.
So it is about making sure that if it is a retirement fund, it will become a life cycle fund. So the idea is not to close them, but to merge schemes where there is too much of an overlap.
Okay.
So the idea is not to at all close anything access to, but to give the customer or the investor more access to better funds.
So, fully it's better for investors.
Yes.
Lovely. Thank you. So, Anita, you have been part of media sales, you have been part of Outlook Group. So, what made your journey from media sales to founding a completely different set of organization called Cafe Mutual, which I think was non existent before Cafe was in the mutual fund industry?
Absolutely. So, interestingly, uh, f- 15 years ago, after my second daughter, I had taken a sabbatical and I had decided that I did not want to come back to mainstream media. I did not want to chase deadlines that were never ending. So, I said that, let me start talking to recruiters and friends, and I updated my resume. And in a very typical, fooled by randomness kind of a moment, a chance conversation actually with Prem. So you'll be surprised, this was really a random email that came to me
Mm.
from a recruiter. And I thought that, okay, I'm just starting to look out and let me just see Bandra mein hai, let me go and chat with Prem. And so, it was really a chance encounter, and that has really led me to be here. Also, it's been 15 years, and to get an opportunity to interact with some of the sharpest investment minds on a regular basis, it's almost like having a masterclass every single day.
Right.
And I was not going to miss out on that. Moreover, what Cafe Mutual really did was that I could use all my experience of the previous
Mm.
work X
Mm.
and my education also. So it was really a place where I could bring in sales, I could do media, I could do events, and my entire brand corporate communications experience was so well
Mm.
integrated into this that I've never really looked back.
Well, lovely. So, I think contribution of Cafe Mutual to our industry is immense.
Thank you so much.
And Kamaini, you were a banker.
Yeah.
So we always differentiated between a banker and an AMC as a manufacturer and distributor.
Yes.
So all of a sudden you transition from a manufacturer, sorry, from a distributor to a manufacturer. So how was this transition, and are you enjoying it?
Okay, now that's definitely a difficult and a catch-22 situation question. But, well, the transition, very honestly, was not easy because being able to sell multiple products is very different from selling one manufacturer
Yeah.
products. So, yeah, different. Plus, as a banker, I was always B2C, and the B2B is a very different
Ball game.
ball game altogether. So, it was not easy, but challenging, and but I think I'm enjoying it a lot, and it's been a very good past 2 years where I've been on the manufacturing side, and well, yes, I think I'm really enjoying the journey.
Lovely. And how do you see Aditya Birla Mutual Fund in reaching out to masses in terms of different product strategies and communication, and actually picking up the last mile person and giving him a mutual fund plan?
I think that is one of the biggest agendas I think all AMC should follow,
Yeah.
because even after all our attempts at investor education, I still think that if we are only at a very limited 7-8% penetration of mutual funds in the country, I think
Yeah.
there is still a long way for all of us to go. And investor education really needs to pick up in a big way. Most importantly, I think while I think we are reaching out to B30s a lot more, I think there is a what you call as if I can use a bit of English, that it's a wo chirag tale andhera wala scene hai.
Correct.
So in T30 there are pockets which are on the outskirts of the cities where I think the education levels have not quite reached. So we have to not only concentrate on B30 and the smaller markets, but rejuvenate our efforts at doing investor education even in the larger cities, because the landscape is evolving at a very high speed. Today you've got, like you said, we got SIFs, now you've got a new circular where you've got lifestyle funds and all. So it will be something which will evolve at a much faster pace than we can imagine. And for that, keeping up with the investor education is something which is extremely important for all of us.
So I think there are 15 crore Demat accounts
Yes.
and there are only 5 crore unique folios.
Now 5.3 now.
5.3 now. So the journey is too big.
Yes.
And how do you see regulators helping in that?
Regulators are being extremely supportive, if I can just say that. In fact, I was just speaking to my colleague on the way here. The regulator reacts very quickly. Now, for example, whatever has happened in the last week, I think the SEBI immediately came out with a circular saying you can increase your all AMCs can increase their gold and silver investments by X percentage. So the regulator now is very agile. reacts very quickly, and is able to make changes very fast. So because of that, I think the way, the kind of support that we need from the regulator to be able to actually get India, the masses, to start investing in mutual funds, I think they are playing a very large role in it.
Lovely. Anita, even though I don't like asking this question, but I'm asking these questions to both of you because you're leaders and a lot of youngsters actually will look upon you to see how have you traveled this journey. So, being a woman, how are you handling actually your professional life as well as personal life, and how you're able to find that balance?
Okay, so I've been very lucky when it comes to that. So at home, see, and it's really very very subjective. While yes, of course, a woman has to handle far many more responsibilities than probably
Yeah.
men. But I've been that way very fortunate. My husband is my biggest cheerleader. He would be the one to say that just forget about whatever's happening on the domestic front and just go and chase your dreams and chase your ambitions. So I've that way parenting has been a 50-50 thing. We both share all the responsibilities, and that makes it slightly more easier, because then I'm not guilty of thinking that, oh, I'm being a lesser uh,
Parent.
parent or a wife,
Hmm.
and just focusing more on the professional aspect. So that way very lucky. At work also, I've had Prem is a great mentor. I've had some best male colleagues who are working with me. They're allies. We help each other to do really
Hmm.
better than
Hmm.
what we could individually. So one is never made to feel any little if you are taking off to be with your ailing
Hmm.
parents, or if
Hmm.
you have a responsibility to do
Hmm.
with your child. You're not made to feel guilty that, oh, why are you leaving in early
Hmm.
and somebody else is doing that. uh, and this is on the other side also. I think women also have to take up a lot of responsibility and not use this as a excuse to
Hmm.
offload some of their work
Hmm.
onto their colleagues. So that way I've been fortunate, also took up responsibility. I enjoy doing what I do. So the question has never really come in that I have to shirk some responsibility and do
Hmm.
something else. So I enjoy the way I'm
Lovely.
leading my life, very fulfilling. In fact, most of the men in my life have made it more fun and fulfilling for
Lovely.
me.
Lovely. Nice. Yaka, my
Okay,
about
I
you.
will have some contra, or I would say more controversial views
Hmm.
on that. See, I don't believe it's gender specific. Very
Hmm.
honestly, I
Hmm.
think, and I have been a salesperson throughout, and
Hmm.
sales is deadline oriented. It is pressure oriented and everything,
Yeah.
and I think it's all in our head. Let's
Mm.
be
Hmm.
honest. Women, unfortunately, and women in India specifically, have got this bad habit of taking the mantle of things on them their heads.
Mm.
Hmm.
ठीक है, अभी एक दिन अगर कुछ नहीं हुआ और आपको खाना बाहर से मंगवाना पड़ा,
Yeah,
the
it
world
doesn't
does not
end
end.
there.
Okay,
True.
so it's a question of us basically
Mm.
coming to terms with the fact that it is a trade off.
Mm.
Sometimes you will have to trade off something, sometimes something else.
Yeah.
Sometimes work is a priority, sometimes family is a priority.
Hmm.
And I think I've seen work evolving over the past
Hmm.
25 years,
Mm.
specifically in the BFSI space. And I think we have evolved to a very large extent. So today, people are supportive. So sometimes, like Anita very rightly said, sometimes if you need to take you to have your personal life taking priority,
Yeah.
nobody questions you.
Hmm.
Sometimes work becomes a priority, then people at home also support you.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a trade-off. See, the balance is not there, will never be there. You
Hmm.
just have to keep looking at
Balancing.
what priority you have to fix for the day, the week, or the month.
Mm.
Hmm.
For example, I'm telling you, JFM, people at home know that there is no point in speaking to her. She's not going to be available. Okay.
Ah.
So, and honestly, I believe that the kind of support we get at home or at work
Hmm.
is very, very critical. So, I have my son's board exams for the 10th going on right now.
Hmm.
And believe me, my husband has taken up the slack that I have not been able to give.
Hmm.
So, it's really very supportive for everybody today. And I think the world has evolved in a very large
True.
way. I would say from what it was 25 years ago. And I was very, very fortunate that
Hmm.
at that time I was working with some institutions like iBank, which very, very women friendly.
Hmm.
So I think we were able to transform the whole situation in a very different way. But I think today it's all about how we treat it and how we take it. And like I said, women unfortunately have got a bad habit of taking things on their heads
I think we
unnecessarily.
just need to build more support systems
Correct.
around and be okay with it. You don't have to be a superwoman.
It is not
It's
necessary.
really I mean, seek help. I think that is really the true power. When you really seek help, and people are there to help you.
Yeah.
So my kids have been raised in daycares, and I was perfectly okay to keep them there because they were taken very well, they were taken good care of. And while I could focus on my career. So I think there are support systems available for women, and I think we should take good use of that.
Lovely. So Kamini, tell me, so there's a narrative about women investing,
Yes.
the way they invest. So is it just a stereotype way of investing, or is there some data which is suggesting that they increasingly investment has become more and more in financial products?
So there is definitely data which shows over the past, I would say since 2019 onwards, the women investors have more than doubled in mutual funds specifically.
Okay.
And honestly, if you will see in the past 2-3 years also, from 2022 onwards, you're seeing a lot of increase in women investors in SIPs. In SIPs, I can tell you, women investors have increased by 270%.
Oh.
Yes, and a lot of it coming from B30 cities. So I think the way women look at finances, the way women look at how they are investing now, I think it has undergone a change. I also see the regulators, mutual fund sahi hai,
Yeah.
playing a very large role in terms of giving comfort to people. It's also about long-term investing. Honestly, there are some myths around the fact that women are conservative investors and all, but I think those stereotypes are being broken very quickly by women. I think women are long-term investors. I don't think they are risk averse at all. They are equity investors, but they are long-term investors. You would not have women taking decisions to liquidate their investments very quickly, but they are definitely there for the long run and definitely very, very savvy in terms of equity investments. So you are definitely seeing 4.6 million was the kind of folios that were there in 2019. Today you are looking at some 24 million nearly. So the participation in the industry has gone up to nearly 27-28% by women investors. So I think it's a good way forward. Even now, I think, is it enough? No, we can still have a lot of participation going up.
Yeah.
But I think we are getting there.
So you spoke about mutual fund Sahi Hai campaign.
Yes.
So that throws a question that why we see more of Rohit Sharma than Mitali Raj.
You're right. But that is something that the marketing person should answer.
So I think if you remember when Amphi did an event to recognize some of the top distributors of the country, they did invite the Olympians, the Olympic winners, and these were women. So see, you also have to look at it in the other sectors. There's not as much work that is being done.
Correct.
Mutual fund industry is far ahead in this particular space. We're not just talking, there is action. We do have a women-centric budget which has been allocated to educate more women.
Incentive part you're talking about.
Incentivization, yes. We are, catering to all sorts of women, self-help groups, there are teachers, there are women, students in colleges. So there's lots that is being done. As Kamyani rightly said that, of course, there's much more to be done. But SEBI and AMFI is already incentivizing even distributors to bring in more women investors. And it's just going to be a matter of time. See, financial education is not a one-time webinar or a seminar. It is an ongoing, continuous habit, and women will get there. As when there are more women coming in, they will bring in far many more women. So I think, we just need a good system that will make the women more comfortable. Of course, education is one thing. The execution is another part. And when we have many more women understanding these things, I think the numbers will drastically grow.
So women empowerment
Yeah.
and financial independence of women, are they two separate thing or same?
They're not the same thing.
They're not the same thing.
No, they're not the same thing. Being financially independent is a part of being empowered. But I think women empowerment does not mean that you only take your financial decision. It also means that you determine what path your life is taking. You have more control over how you want the narrative of your life to be built. It's about being able to assume roles, whatever roles you take. See, it is not just being a working woman is not the only thing. You know, you can be very empowered being at home as well. You can be very empowered in deciding the way your kids' futures are being built. So it's not about being only a salesperson or being only a working person or building a career for yourself. It's about how you navigate your life journey. Okay, so that's not only about being financially independent. It's about assuming the mantle of responsibility and being able to navigate the path forward in a much better way.
Your views?
So yes, I quite agree with what Kamaini said. Though I also feel that financial empowerment is very important today.
Correct.
You have a lot of leading women in various sectors, but if you ask them that what about your finances, and they'd say I don't know. That's something my husband does or
Yeah.
my father does, which is not quite right because and we know that there are statistics. There's research that proves that women will always outlive the men. And who knows about the
Yeah,
life's
correct. Uncertainties,
challenges and
yeah.
uncertainties? Why do you want to leave it to chance?
Yeah.
Always make sure that you are on top of it. Also, purane zamane mein men used to do these things, that they would be really the ones looking at the finances, how the family is being taken care of.
Yeah.
But that has changed.
Yeah.
So change this as well. You are going out earning money, putting bread on the table. Why not be actively involved into growing the finances? And this also comes from the age old practices where women were supposed to say, नहीं यार मैं सिर्फ फैमिली को देखूंगी, मैं उनका देखभाल करूंगी. And why are we shy in saying that yes, we want to grow wealth, we
Yeah.
want more money?
Absolutely.
Why are we shying away from that?
Yeah.
I don't see any reason. You might have been empowered in other areas of your life, but if you cannot take the baton in your hands and say that the financial wellness is something that I want to be interested in and work towards, I think that empowerment is remaining a little incomplete. So I strongly believe that women need to slowly but steadily, don't take big leaps, but
Yeah.
at least begin somewhere, stay consistent with what you're doing, because that is the need of the hour.
So what can families do?
Involve them more, involve everybody in decision making. So like Anita very rightly said, I think it's about there used to be a situation where so what is to be cooked for dinner was definitely a part of what a woman is supposed to decide.
Yeah.
But where the investment should happen may not necessarily involve women. Estate planning, for example, a lot of times the views of the matriarch in the family may not be taken. But I think that's one place where I believe families can play a very large role in involving women across life stages in what decision making is happening, or at least awareness. Because it's very, very important that, see, like we were discussing a little while ago, life is not certain.
True.
Today, none of us have crystal balls. We don't do crystal
Yeah,
ball
yeah.
gazing.
Yeah.
We don't know what may happen tomorrow.
True.
So once your children also cross a certain age, I think it's very important for children to be aware of what is happening, what are the kind of financial commitments, liabilities, assets that are available at home, in the family, so that they are not caught unawares in case of any untoward incident happening. So families can be more inclusive. They can make sure that irrespective of gender, or of course age is a criteria, you
Yeah.
wouldn't involve a very small kid into all this, but irrespective of whether it's a woman or a man, people at home should be aware of what are the assets and the liabilities in a home,
True.
in a family, so that navigation of the path forward in case of anything that we don't know or any untoward incident, it becomes easier for everybody in the family.
No, I think now children are also getting more and more aware.
Yes.
So before coming to this show today, my daughter is also going giving a 10th board exams.
Okay.
So she was just asking me, okay, Dad, tell me how much rent are you getting from the property which you have rented out, and how much is the EMI you're paying on that property. So that awareness is more and more increasing, and I
Yes.
thanks to media.
Yes.
But that's my next question actually, and more to you, Anita, and to you as well. Now, are we talking more about financial empowerment of women, inclusivity of women, or the media houses or the AMC doing actually something very concrete?
I think the AMCs are doing a lot of work, and with the new circular of incentivization for women investor
Investors,
plans, I think you'll see a lot more work happening on that.
Okay.
But I think I have seen, and over the past 2 years itself, I've seen women MFDs themselves become very active in terms of being able to work on more and more women investors. So I think, are we doing enough? Again, I would say there is a lot of scope of doing more. But I think all AMCs and the regulators are playing a good active part in trying to have more and more inclusion of women into the mainstream mutual funds, whether it is as distributors or as investors. I see that path going up much, much better than what we have seen in the past.
Also, we need to go beyond the numbers. See, one thing is, of course, like Amani said, that we need to include women in the conversations which are around finances. But what is more important, that even the distributors need to understand that it has to go beyond the numbers. Your life is not an Excel sheet.
Correct.
You know, it cannot be just a financial plan, because the woman may have many aspirations, many different goals, and that cannot be reduced to a financial plan. So we really need the distributors to be able to do some emotional storytelling when they're dealing with women, make them more comfortable.
What you said, that reminds me again to my last podcast. One of my guests said कि जब भी फैमिली पे कुछ भी इशू आता है ना, मोर फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेस आता है ना, तो वुमेन सेज कि ओके आई कम लास्ट, एंड इन टर्म्स ऑफ सैक्रिफाइसिंग शी सेज आई कम फर्स्ट. तो उसका खर्चा सबसे पहले बंद हो जाता है, एंड देन ग्रेजुअली it transforms or translates to other family members. But to Cafe Mutual, can we see, or are we going to see some women centric only Cafe Fest for women?
So, you know, we've been trying to do that, in the sense we've been trying to bring in more women. I'm so happy that this time for this Cafe Mutual Ideas Fest, we did have a few more women speakers at the event.
So continuing with the same thing, how is media shaping up? And I'm not saying normal media, mainstream media, the parallel media, the social media. What is the impact of Insta, Facebook,
It's
YouTube?
huge. It's massive. In fact, it's almost like a coffee shop everybody wants to hang around at. You know, there are so many reels, and Insta has really made some of the most complicated concepts. They've converted that into bite-sized entertainment.
I have a bit of a contra view here. While digital media, I agree, the kind of information and exposure that today is there, and the kind of information flow is there. In my view, there is too much information, because somewhere what happens is that for a normal investor who is maybe somebody who's not a finance person, for example, you know, discerning the concepts or being able to actually get the separate the wheat from the chaff
Yeah.
may not be a very easy task. And too much of information overload only ends up in confusion.
True.
So I think that is a little bit of a double-edged sword that I think the social media plays. While I'm not denying at all that the reach that the social media has, the kind of I would say the language that the social media talks in terms of being able to put simple concepts into people's heads. But I think to be able to discern from what is right and wrong,
Yeah.
I think that is where the whole game lies in
Correct,
social media. So wahan pe we have to be a little careful, because a lot of misinformation also spreads because
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah. True.
So I think it's a double-edged sword. We can't do without also. But I think the regulator is also taking some steps in terms of making sure that everybody who's there is a registered person, so that you get only the real data that comes out. I think that is one of the steps which they've done in a good way. Now
Yeah.
it's a good direction to take. But I think while it is important for us to be there on social media, I think what's most important is for the investor to be able to make sure that they are relying only on the correct
Trusted one.
information.
No.
Yes.
What you said is right. In fact, 2 years back when we actually started, people said that you should also be on social media. So we started making these bite-size, Insta reels and all those things. And sometimes we actually are failing in terms of doing that duty, that people should understand the concept and not just jump into the conclusion
Correct.
immediately.
Correct.
So,
Absolutely.
in fact, I would like to suggest one thing, if it is possible, take it to AMFI, that, for all those ARN holders or certified financial planner, a logo should appear somewhere on their reels, like that. Like, for example, we go with MF Online brand, our brand appears. So a logo should appear that AMFI certified or NISM certified, something of that
I think
sort.
that's a great idea. We should definitely try and implement that, because this what exactly I was going to say.
Yes.
Is that today there are deep fakes, there are AI generated
Yes,
images.
yes.
It is, and you can't
You
make
can't
out.
make out. Yeah.
It is that good.
Trust me.
So I think that logo idea of yours, or a
Yes.
watermark kind of a thing,
Watermark kind of a
might
thing.
make a lot of
Yes,
difference.
it will make a lot of. See, to me also, I think people have reported at least 10 fake profiles of me.
Yeah.
Yes,
10,
yes.
and everybody has a fake profile. and the objective is completely different to scamming people.
Yeah.
I think something regulator is doing a lot of things, but I think this is one which is which will be far
No,
more.
I think it will have a lot
It's
of
a
impact.
doable
We
thing.
will
Yeah.
It
definitely
can be
take it through.
actionable. Yeah.
Yeah.
These things can be
Correct,
actioned
correct.
quickly.
And now with advent of AI, actually it is easier.
Yes.
It is not difficult.
Yes.
So there's a company in this AI space. I would not name that company. I met his promoter last week. So what they are doing, they are protecting celebrity images
Yeah.
from being used. So they are running this huge data centers and they'll scan all social media platforms and they'll scan it and they'll take it down immediately.
Okay.
They're working.
That's cool.
And in fact, to tell you, that platform was shared by head of Google. She's herself a lady. And when I asked him, okay, then what is Google doing? Then he had a completely controversial answer. Completely controversial
I'm
answer.
sure.
Because somewhere a lot of interest actually conflict.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah. So tell me one thing, both of you and Anita more so, what skills should women have when they want to come to your side of business?
When they want to come to our side of business, see, for any kind of career in finance overall, I would say that there are certain skills that are really commoner between a lot of other media also. That is, you have to listen very carefully. When you're in finance, you are likely that you're being exposed to a lot of sharp minds. So leave your ego. I think listen very carefully, because it's going to be much more than what a course or a book could probably teach you.
Yeah.
So listen very carefully. I think that would add a lot of value to you. Secondly, I would say that upskill yourself constantly, because this is one place that the landscape is moving, pacing so swiftly
Yeah.
that you will constantly have to learn and relearn and unlearn at the same time. So just make sure that you are upskilling yourself, very quickly, and be curious. I think the more curiosity that is sparked in you, I think you are more likely to learn and climb the ladder of success. So I think, yeah, these are some of the key uh, skills or qualities that one really needs to have to be able to do well. And watch out for all the advances that keep happening, keep updated at all times.
I think a couple of points I will add on to what Anita said. While she's covered quite a bit of the ground, I think have confidence in your abilities. You are no lesser than anybody.
Correct.
Though you may have extreme reactions to the things that happen, because let's be very honest, women are more emotional than men in a lot of spaces. But it's okay. It's okay to be emotional.
It's okay to cry.
Okay to cry.
Oh,
It's okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's okay to
Break
be
down.
emotional. It's okay to cry. It's okay to have reactions to things that go on around you, as long as you're able to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move forward. So have confidence in your abilities. Make sure that nobody tells you anything different. It's very, very important to be able to take feedback and criticism well. I think as you move forward in your career, there will be a lot of situations where you will get feedback, you will get criticism. That's fine. It's not directed towards you as a person, it's directed towards you as a professional. So, being able to take that feedback and critique and being able to use it effectively. See, every feedback may not be accurate
Right.
because people have perceptions.
Correct.
But what to be able to discern out of that what is good for you and be able to take it, imbibe it, and move forward is a skill which I think everybody should have, not only women. But I think that's another very important part, to be able to move forward in your journey as professionals. And I think the learning part of it, I cannot say enough. It is a constant journey. You have to keep learning, keep improving, keep learning, keep improving. So that's
So-
absolutely necessary.
Lovely. So are women breaking the glass ceiling in boardrooms?
Honest answer, I think there is some way to go. I think because of the rules, women directors are appointed on boards, but I don't know how active a part they are playing. But I think there is a lot of way to go for women to be, even now, I think, but honestly, finance is one of the industries where we have a lot of women participating. Today, I see, and Aditya Birla being such a huge conglomerate,
Yeah.
while I see women in manufacturing, I see women in cement. But can there be more participation? Definitely they can. So I think, yes, we are about 50% there. We can go 50% of the way more.
Lovely. What?
Yeah, I feel the same. See, there is progress that has happened over the years,
Mm.
but there's so much more to be done, right? Women and there are just so many women who are so good at what they do.
Yeah.
And, even behaviorally, I think we are so strong, we are so disciplined, consistent. I see it in our own colleagues. You won't believe it, actually, love. Just now we have more men in our office, but till a year and a half, we had more women. And trust me, the reason we are able to push ourselves on many levels, stay consistent, and relentlessly stay at it, I think that's because of the kind of attitude the women in our office have. So I really think there is so much more that women can offer, and we just need many more initiatives for that.
Lovely.
Right.
So where do you see women, as he said, no, and that's the reason why I could not control my laugh. They are already at 50%,
Yeah.
and he's saying he'll again declaim that further 50%.
Yep.
So where do you see women in financial services in next 10 years?
In all the boardrooms across financial services industries, for sure. I would personally like to see a lot of more women in sales. As of now, I think somewhere that ceiling we have not quite broken yet, because I don't see too many women coming up to senior positions in sales. So sales per se, I think, yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's a cakewalk. It has its difficult moments, but I would personally like to see a lot more women coming into sales.
And I think women are so good at
Yeah,
speaking to
I agree.
people, and we connect with other people on an emotional level. And trust me, it's really your EQ and not your IQ that really determines
Matters,
success in deals, in relationships, in every possible aspect of life. So I think women are very good. I started with sales. I enjoy doing what I do, and I take great pride in being, part of. The very few women who are in sales. But I'd like that, our tribe to grow.
But I think in
Yeah.
media, there are a lot of women in sales.
Media does have a lot of women
Yeah.
in sales, yes. But now I'm in finance.
And and what about how many women, how many girls are there in Aditya Birla Mutual Fund sales?
No, we've got quite a good number of them. In fact, we are very good with our diversity ratio. I think we are close to about 35%. But that's not the worry. The worry is how many of them actually progress.
Comes up, yeah.
So while till the officer levels and all, you have a lot of women participating, and a lot of them are very good at it, like Anita said very clearly.
Yeah.
In fact, very honestly, I've been a wealth manager when I was a banker, and a lot of women make very good wealth managers. Okay, so you have some of the best,
Yeah.
best minds are as wealth managers in some of our very good wealth management outfits. But how many of them actually progress till the very pinnacle is where I think the gap starts coming in.
Yeah,
So
they
that
drop out.
that I would say that tenacity to be able to stay with the entire journey is important.
So, continuing with that, what 3 steps should actually a woman take when she starts investing?
When
First
she
3
starts investing,
Yes.
long term for sure, SIPs definitely only look at long term investing. So I think asset allocation again plays a very important part, because like we said, you can't predict the future, so you should have some amount of money as liquid,
Yeah.
and the rest of it all is a long term investment. Like you pointed out, when there is a crisis that comes in, I think it is always the woman of the house who puts her foot forward first, saying that, okay, I will
sacrifice.
the one who will be sacrificing first. While there is nothing wrong with that, but be balanced in your approach. Make sure that only your short term investments are one which are getting liquidated, and lock the long term ones. So the first rule of investing for anybody is long term. Think long term. Depending on what age you are, your asset allocation needs to be very clearly defined. So if you are going to start investing when you're 55 years old, I would definitely not advise to go very aggressive. So depending on what stage of journey you are at, and you can start investing at any age, but your asset allocation has to be correctly monitored. And third, most important, discipline is the key. It has to be a disciplined investment. Do not let short term issues wave you away from your journey. So these are the 3 things I think are very critical.
Now, I'd
for
like
women.
to add one point. Of course, consistency is something that we must definitely, stick to. Also, own it. I think be empowered, get to know more about the finances and own it. don't shy away from it, and
Yeah.
find a friend, find a sarthi who can actually handhold you, and who understands you very well, your desires, your goals accurately, so that you move on to that path. Like Kamyani very rightly said, that you don't drop off in between.
Correct.
Get started, don't drop out, and you need somebody to be able to have that sanity check on you at all times, and for that you need a trusted guide. So
Right.
find a trusted expert, a mutual fund distributor who can help you maneuver these
Yeah.
changes, life's uncertainties, and yet keep you on track, your
I'll
finances.
just add on to what Anita said. I think very importantly, don't shy away from asking questions. If you don't understand something, ask. If you don't understand it once, ask twice.
Right.
There is no shame in saying that, okay, this is something I don't understand. Can you please explain
Right.
it again?
Yeah.
There is no stigma attached to it.
Correct.
But don't be afraid of asking questions. I think that is where we hesitate the most.
I think everybody, men,
Okay?
women equally.
Everybody. So
Everybody
that is where we
women.
hesitate the most.
More
Women
so women,
think
yeah.
that, oh, am I going to be considered as dumb?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
just ask. Even if you
Yeah.
think, ask, because it's just going to add more value to
Correct.
you.
Correct.
So don't be shy of asking questions. I think whether it is a profession, whether it is finances,
Yeah, everything.
ask for help, ask for clarity. I think that is very, very key to everybody.
So prenuptial agreement should be there.
I don't think it's a trend in India, is
Yeah,
it?
it's not as.
If it is,
I mean,
look, I've never been a part of it. No idea.
to each one their own, really. I don't see a start of a relationship to be that, but to each one his own. I mean, who are we to even question that? So,
Leave it to the individuals to decide.
Okay. So one last thing. What message would you like to give to women on this International Women's Day? Each one.
I would say women should be celebrated every day, not only on International Women's Day. And I very firmly would like to say that the future is in our hands. How we want to make it, how we want to create it, depends on us. While there will be unforeseen circumstances that may come up, being able to navigate them and how we want to build ourselves is, I think, quite in our hands. So take the future in your hands.
yeah, so, we are natural money managers, actually. We are all very good at budgeting. We are risk takers. We are long term investors. We just need to get started and do it for ourselves also. Don't put yourself, put yourself ahead of the others. You don't have to be the sacrificing one at all times. Take charge of your finances, get a little savvy, get to know more about things which probably you are not very good at right now. But that's the whole fun of finance, that, it can seem very intimidating to begin with, but practice makes perfect. So just get started, take that first step. Don't make it a someday discussion, just make it today. So,
And keep watching Savvy Savers.
absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. And now we move to the last segment, rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay. So one answer, each one of you.
Yeah.
Starting with you.
Okay.
What biggest strength of women investors? Patience or discipline?
Discipline.
Discipline.
Okay. What drives better return? Consistency or timing?
Consistency.
Which trait defines young women investors? Clarity or caution?
Clarity.
What is future of women in investing? In terms of investment universe, investment business, growth or leadership?
Leadership.
Growth.
What matters more for financial freedom, knowledge or action?
Knowledge.
I would say both.
Okay. So that comes to end of our podcast. Thank you so much for joining the podcast and taking your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
It
much
was
for
such a
having us.
pleasure to have this discussion with both of you.
I know.
Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.